Throw Gang, we were joined by, you're telling me this coast is bisexual? Lauren Schlosserman and myself, the boy West Coast, James Harris.
We was on the pod.
You was in the club. Damn, we should have done.
You fucking love boy West
Just
Coast.
when we needed him, the man with the greatest eyebrows to ever have graced Spotify disappeared, which apparently those eyebrows are a result of anal from our boy Quentin told me that in the DMs.
Wait. How does anal affect eyebrows?
I don't know, man. It's the human condition.
Wait. Can you explain? Wait.
No, I can't. He's just like, I don't know. I was just like, yeah, I want his eyebrows. He's like, well, those are a result of anal sex. I'm like, all right, let me get to it.
Wait, there's no science that backs that up. What is the boy West Coast up to?
First of all, I've been playing his discography all weekend. He had some fucking bangers beyond just you was up, all up, or what was it?
So
he was in the club.
Can I just get this out of the way? Is this going to be the outro music versus new King Squid? We Can Go Saw Baby album of the year.
Let's go with Boy West Coast. I love your girl. I love your girl.
Do you like the new Saw Baby?
Of course, bro. I put it on Fiddy's Best Music. I was excited for it on
King Squid
from the clips that were leaking on Twitter the week before.
He might be, I think we've said it before, is that the most underrated Atlanta post-thug guy?
No, I think not anymore. He's getting his flowers. But we're not a music podcast necessarily per se.
Okay, sorry.
No, it's fine. Welcome to the weekly run of the boys, which today's full episode only available on
www.throwingfits.com, the number one music podcast in the world.
That's true. Before we get into LVMH luxury ventures, investing in our legacy, and tapping in with Yoakum to speak on it, dispatches from the Instagram menswear forum we just attended.
Yeah, literally.
You have the merch right there.
Oh, sorry. I forgot. I have to. A lot of people have been asking. I'm on Throwing Fits, but that's right. I'm declaring. I'm taking my talents to Meta.
Yeah. I think co-designer consulted on by the boy East Coast, Nolita Dirtbag.
The boy Nolita. Did you see the back hit? Instagram menswear forum TM 2024 New York 10003
10003.
Yeah, I don't know why I said it. This is me saying
Carter zip
1017 brick squad. That was my It's hard
like,
to
101.7 brick squad.
It's hard to be on point 100% of the time, especially when it comes to math.
1017 brick squad.
Yeah, hold on.
10003, but the zip code where I grew up. So I know how to say it. 10003. And
you were born in the Meta, one of the three Meta offices in New York?
I was born in the Meta. I was born in the assisted suicide pod. We're going to talk about that.
Yeah.
A lot of thoughts there. And Aaron Levine's brand launch. Let's get into some Los Angeles housekeeping.
Yeah.
What do we got going on?
So, Thursday, November 14th, from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m.
Pacific time
at 4011. Right? What'd you say?
At 4011 Sunset Boulevard.
We are coming back to Mohawk. This is our three-peat. We are posting up. We are throwing a little soiree to celebrate 17 unimpeachable, glorious years of one of our favorite stores, not just in LA, not just in the greatest country on earth, but on this planet, Mohawk General Store. Congrats to our entire Mohawk family. We cannot wait to celebrate with you and all of our throw gang that live on the left coast.
Yeah. I will have a pair of clippers. I will give you a Mohawk, and any recipient of a Mohawk gets 10% off all goods within Mohawk General Store. I'm just kidding. That's not true. We will have free Orion beer. Ooh. Shout out the good Tomodachis at Orion. Just, if you don't know this beer, first of all, you were wearing the merch, I think, last week.
Yeah, but it was under my quarter zip.
Your Carter zip.
Yeah.
Your Carter Young zip. Orion beer. It's from Okinawa, which are like the tropical islands in the south of Japan. It's where Mr. Miyagi's from.
Really?
Yeah. It's like a very kind of like island boy lifestyle. Except Japanese.
Except they're completely not Jamaican. Well, there are
Island boy.
There are the oh my god,
Jesus
the
Christ.
Japanese Rastas, right? That like really live it, that have the dreads,
the best.
Everything gonna be Irie.
I was in Kingston,
Konnichiwa.
Jamaica. I was in Kingston, Jamaica, and went to a record bar that was owned by a Japanese guy, and it was the best sound system I've ever experienced in my fucking life. I mean, it was like that.
Selecta.
It was like that Maxwell ad. Like my shit was getting blown back. Pause.
Was that guy a Japanese expat?
Yes.
And was he dreaded?
I don't believe so. But he was definitely smoking big doinks out in Kingston.
Which you can't do in Japan. They'll jail you for life, right?
No, it's not that harsh. Korea's worse.
Okay.
But yeah, there's just not that much drugs in Japan, period.
Besides Orion.
Well, or it's not a drug. Orion is a beer.
Drug.
It's one of the only big Japanese beers that is available in the US that is still brewed in Japan. If you haven't had it, by the way, you can get it in like Whole Foods, any Asian grocery store. It's fucking delicious. And here's a fun fact.
Hit me.
2 of the reasons why it's so delicious. It's made using Regima barley from Okinawa and super clean spring water from a UNESCO World Heritage Site.
Wow, dude, that beer is super clean, bro.
It's delicious.
We've talked about beer ad nauseum on this show because we like to drink it. It is a beverage that we imbibe in. Now, with that said, Japanese beers, we've usually ranked, just generally speaking, at the top of all of the ethnic beers, right?
Ethnic beers?
What would you call them? Regional?
Beers, not non-American beers?
Imports.
Sure.
But that's the fallacy, is that Sapporo, Kirin Ichiban, and Asahi, just to name a few, those are not made in Japan. And when you drink them, you're not really drinking Japanese beer
when you're in the US.
Right. That's what I mean. As US based drinkers, whereas Orion is the real motherfucking deal. And shout out to them for the free drinks that all of you will be enjoying. The super clean drinks that you'll be enjoying on Thursday night.
You don't get bloated from it, which is great.
Well,
you could drink 20 of anything.
Yeah,
but
I stopped
the
myself.
not getting bloated thing is also great because there'll also be free smash burgers by Friendo Burgers. Breaking news. Anton Segor will be flipping burgers on the flat top outside Mohawk General Store at 4010 plus 1 Sunset Boulevard.
How much have you ever lost on a smash burger, Jimbo?
All of it. Everything.
Damn, I'm excited, dude. That's going to be a fun little spread.
If the rules are what brought you here, then of what use is the rule?
That's like
the new No Country for Old Men quote that's like,
that's going everywhere.
Like JD Vance quoted it and people are like, oh, cool quote. Are you sure that wasn't from a psychopathic sociopath killer?
Yeah.
Serial killer?
You sure that's not a Cormac McCarthy original, bruh?
Yeah. No, he quoted Cormac McCarthy, but then people are like, oh, very cool. Was that not said by a sociopathic serial murderer?
Gotcha. Okay, so what else do we need to let the people know about the party? 6 to 9, 4011 Sunset Boulevard. We have been told by residents of the City of Angels that this party that we have done twice before is kind of like bringing a New York style party to LA. That is a non-derogatory statement. That is a compliment, I believe is the term. And you can expect the same, some shopping, some drinking, some hanging. Yeah. There might be some press in the building. We don't know. We'll just leave it at that. So wear your fucking
LA, come in your finest duds, which means typically for you wear a trash fit. But hey, prove us wrong.
Yeah, honestly, please prove us wrong.
Because you know what they say: if the rule you followed brought you to this, of what use was the rule?
What this impression is it's like a new guy.
If the rule you followed brought you to this, of what use was the rule?
Why would you shoot a man?
It's Anton Segor.
Before throwing him out of a plane.
No, brother. They expect one of us to drink all the audio.
There will be some wreckage. Yeah, don't litter, but there might be some wreckage. No, I said don't litter.
Yeah, the wreckage is going to be the trash fits that you shed because you're going to be a little tipsy off the Orions and shopping to your heart's content in Mohawk General Store.
That's not it.
What?
That's not it in terms of our LA schedule. I believe there is another save the date.
So again, pull up Thursday night, 6 to 9. Nice. 4011. Now I'm all fucked up about how to say numbers.
How would you say
4011, 4011 Sunset Boulevard.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you know where Mohawk General Store is. It's right where Sunset Boulevard begins in Silver Lake. It's across from like the Silver
Google
Lake.
it.
It's across from the Erewhon, I think. Across from Cafe Stella. You fucking know where it is. It's been there for 17 years. Well, not there, because they used to be on Mohawk Street, further up Sunset Boulevard.
Mm-hmm.
but you know where it is. Google it.
Yeah, one of the
That's not all, folks.
No, and it is just to hammer home the point.
Okay,
like,
well,
you know me, love to yap. This is one of our, I think, our best events that we throw when we do throw it. And I think we missed last year. We had a streak, or did COVID break the streak? That sounds about more accurate.
no, I
actually.
think we did it. No, we last year we missed a year. But we're so back. We're so back.
Yeah. Anyway, see you guys there. Cannot wait. But
Yeah.
that's not all.
Yeah. So less details and bad impressions for this one. We will be doing a live podcast with a special guest on Sunday, November 17th
Mm-hmm.
at the UGG Fieldhouse.
Hell yeah.
RSVP link will be posted soon along with more info. Stay tuned for that. So it's Thursday Mohawk, Sunday UGG Fieldhouse. A lot going on, and we can't wait to be in the mix with all our friends on the left coast.
That's that real electric feel, dude. Shock me like an electric eel.
Yep.
Baby girl. Yeah, UGG Fieldhouse.
Oh, yeah, and thank you for
Sunday, November 17th.
Thank you everyone that sent through some recs. Definitely.
Oh, yeah,
got some
dude.
shit noted down.
A little bit of shopping.
Well, some shopping for show. It was confirmed that the Dree store by Yankees Fitted Archive is an absolute must visit. Someone's like, yo, you should make sure you shop at Mohawk General Store. I was
No
like, yep,
way.
Yep. I will.
Wow. What a fucking gem, whoever
Well,
you are.
To be fair, we never said, Mohawk posted
They posted it.
last week, but we never said on the pod that we were
Okay,
gonna
all right.
go to Mohawk. So actually, that's great. Great intel. Yes, I will be shopping at Mohawk General Store. Your recommendation has been noted.
A little bit of shopping, a little bit of chomping. Got some good food recs.
Yeah.
Pretty exciting.
Can't wait.
Exciting stuff, guys.
All right, let's get into the only podcast that matters. Fit check time.
Yeah. You want to start?
No, you start.
Oh, okay. I believe we're going to talk about this brand in Two Shakes of a Lamb's Tail. I have on Our Legacy Camion boots. The socks, new elite sock brand just dropped courtesy of our French friends. I just gave you your grip today. Socks with 3 S's.
Yeah.
Highly motherfucking recommended.
What's his name?
Nagy?
Nagee.
Yeah. McGee. Yeah, do you see McGee on SNL?
I watched it on Twitter. I did not
Fucking incredible.
Yo, did he play Rockman?
He did. He led with a rock man, dude. Yo, McGee might, well, are we talking fitties yet?
It's going to be that time.
He is worthy of being on Musical Artist of the Year.
I put him there, I think, before you'd even realize that you were a super fan of his.
Well, I had to see the live show to be fully McGee pilled. Holy
All right.
shit.
Cool.
Now I'm fully on board. Okay.
Is he going to play Rockman?
Is he gonna play Rockman? Dude,
I'm on a group chat.
can we make Rockman the outro music?
Wait.
Yeah.
Can I
Wait.
say what I'm quoting?
I know what you're quoting. You can tell everyone.
We're in a group chat with someone that works with McGee, and we were like, yo, McGee on the pod, he's going to be in New York for SNL. He's like, sorry, boys, like he's locked in, and then he's got to bounce
No
like
press.
right afterwards to continue the tour. But yeah, SNL performance is going to be lit.
Mhm.
And you go, is he going to play Rockman?
See, that's how it sounds.
I hope
in
he
your
plays
mi-
Rockman.
That's how it sounds in your mind. But the way that I said it was like, is he going to play Rockman? It's a valid ask, a valid inquiry.
Please
if you
tell
will.
me. Please tell me he's going to do Rockman.
There, okay, sure. A plea.
Please tell me he's going to do Rockman.
And you know what?
We get it, bro. You saw his recent release single.
He did, and he fucking rocked, man.
Yeah.
Shout out fucking Mike Gordon, the GOAT.
He's not a rock man. He's a rock man.
Moving on up, I am wearing 316 Throwing Fits collab big jeans.
Yo, don't like I was wearing them last week. Don't you kind of forget how good they are?
They're fantastic. Everyone who has them can attest to that. Yeah, they're a staple. I mean, it's the best pair of black jeans I've ever owned, and I'm just happy that we could be a part of it.
Absolutely.
Shout out our friends at 316. The pleaser is CK1 Palace collab. The polo with the very nice texture is Colbo, one of the best in-house lines that I believe one half of this podcast wrote a fantastic piece about, and I think we'll get into it in a little bit.
2,500 words.
Really?
Yeah.
And you cut a bunch, right? You were saying?
Yeah, because I don't know how to write real shit.
What do you mean?
We'll get into it later.
Okay. I don't know, but I don't even know what that means.
No, like basically I asked 6 in-house private retailers and the people behind them. I sent them like 5 or 6 questions each.
A questionnaire.
And I got so much information back that I was
Amazing.
like, oh shit, how do I synthesize this into like an article that flows and touches on all these points and incorporates, their thoughts. And as a non-real writer, as someone that is dusting off the pen after many years away from the page, and I was talking about this with someone at the Menswear Summit, I was like, yo, like, how this is so fucking hard. Like, it could have been, and so I only really used a set of responses to one question, which is like the origin story of every brand, of each in-house private label from retailers. So imagine if I'd done that with like all 5 or 6.
Well, I was going to say,
like a fucking opus.
What I'm hearing is that there could be a part 2, 3, 4. You said 5 questions you said?
There's not going to be.
Oh, okay. I just felt honored to just give it a brief top edit because I learned a lot. I thought the quotes are great. I mean, shout out to everyone who participated and shout out to James for writing it. If you're just one of these motherfuckers that taps in and just listens to us every week, you're very important. You're the most important. But don't forget, there's a lot of great stuff to read on www.throwingfits.com.
Yeah, I mean, I'm wearing two of the main things I'm wearing are from in-house private labels, which we'll get to in my fit check. But like, I'm not expecting this to have like the biggest, most eyeballs on it or to convert the most subscribers. But I was like, I'm more than happy that we have the ability to like put this shit out there where, you know, it is kind of tapping into our access. And understand, like, podcasting with people for an hour 30, just yapping amongst ourselves for an hour 30, that's not always going to be consumable or like the medium best served for like, I don't know, just learning new shit or hearing from like a litany of voices on one topic. So this type of thing, it took me a mad long to like put it together, but I'm glad it got out there and I hope people enjoyed it. Oh, and I want to just real quick. Actually, you know what? Let's get through the fit check.
Okay. Well, I'll
come back to this.
What I was going to say is that what I like is I think that's Throwing Fits at its best, where no one's trying to sell you anything in that article. This is prescriptive versus descriptive, like we always talk about, and we are a descriptive podcast. That is just an informative 2,500 words that you take that and you go choose your own adventure after there. I think that's what I always want to be. Yeah. I don't know if you feel the same way. But anyway, again, great work to James. Moving on up, the hat was the Meta custom merch by Nolita Dirtbag. Shout out Hartman. Hope the bag was good. This is...
I'm sure it was.
You think so?
Bro, you're getting Oculus money.
Whoa.
You're getting Threads money.
He's getting retired Oculus money. Off the menu in case you were looking for...
Oh, really? Oculus is donezo?
They are discontinuing it. So get them for Christmas while you still can, folks.
Oh, so what's the next shit? The Ray-Ban Spyglass? What is it? What do they call that?
The Meta shades? The Ray-Ban Meta shades? I don't know, but I used what's YC's girl? Janelle?
Yeah.
I used at Kara Markina's birthday. She was wearing them. She loves them. And she's big into like art and tech and wearables. She's got that big brain. She let me like tap in and I was like fucking around with them. And I kind of get it. Like, I don't want a pair, right? Sure. I don't want Santa to stuff my stocking with any Ray-Ban Metas. With that said, I kind of get it if like you're into wearables, like at least it's on a classic Wayfair frame.
Do you remember when I worked at Snapchat and I had Snapchat spectacles?
Yeah.
Same shit, right?
Yeah, but I think these are easier to use.
What do you do? Just record like POV?
Flick. You take anything. Honestly, I can think of a lot of good uses, mainly in the bedroom. But in terms of just using them on the street, on no surveillance state type shit, if you were the kind of person that loved to create content and capture your life in digital moments, I can see them being very convenient.
Okay.
That's all.
So instead of asking your wife to take 5,000 photos of you, you just click a bunch of times.
Well, you can't flick yourself. You can only flick.
Mirror.
Or you give them to your wife and then she flicks you via her eyes.
Just looking at you.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
So if you need a reason to get your wife to finally look you in the eyes.
Damn, I should dig up my Snapchat spectacles.
You still have them?
I doubt it.
What was the point of those? Like,
same shit, bro.
Just creating.
Like, I mean, the only thing that
party content.
It kind of did 0.5 camera before.
Yeah,
the iPhone did,
and
it was also like in a circle.
Okay,
so like you could
panoramic vision.
Yeah, kind of a little bit. I mean, it was really just like fisheye.
Right.
And like I'm sure I could find a fucking when was this, like 2015?
I'm sure
I could find like
shot a skate video, dude.
Let me see if I have if there's like a spectacles folder in my
Yeah, you keep looking. I'll wrap up the fit check. The hat is a dad hat from Studio Malone. Rolly on the wrist, wedding ring on the fingy, wifey on the pinky, chrome on the other hand. shout out to Skims. Shout out to everyone who has inquired. Not Skims is sponsoring the show. Hit us in the DMs asking for the specific pairs that we wear and love. Today, I am in my favorite, which actually, you know what? I think I've kind of flip-flopped from when we did the ad. I think I'm feeling the 5-inch stretch the most. I mean, they're all so comfortable, but god damn, dude, skim on my cock and balls. And now I can use all the curse words because, you know, they're only sponsoring the free apps, but god damn, dude, I fucking love these underwears.
Skim on him.
Shout out fucking our close personal celebrity friend, Kim Kardashian. And I believe that is, and then I had a fucking La Colombe cold brew from the communal fridge, and the Zins are 11 milligrams slim deep freeze, dude. These shits are changing my life, dude.
Yeah, I can tell.
Woo. All right, what about you, James? What are you wearing today?
Not necessarily changing life for the better. All right, on the feet are Studio Nicholson.
That
X
was emphatic.
Paraboots. What?
That was an emphatic stomp.
I'm stomping.
Yo, can
in the Studio Nicholson Paraboot Michaels, they are composed of 100% full grain deer leather.
Oh man,
The fat boy laces.
So okay, keep going.
That are extra long. So you know the boy West Coast had to double knot them because I don't like a fat loop on the laces. These are. I haven't taken these off since he touched down on Friday.
Deerskin, as someone who has a deerskin Salmonomal City Mox, maybe like the most comfortable hide.
Maybe the supplest skin to wrap your dogs in.
Yo, I get why Bambi was so upset, but yo, sorry, bro, but we needed to turn your mom into some Michaels, bro.
Yeah.
Here's the thing about the laces that I wanted to mention. I fucking love the fat laces, and as we struggle to fill out the fitties in certain categories, one of which being the trend, I think most glaringly trends for the past year, there was this moment that I tried to like force onto the fitties of like a lot of laces. I think an example that everyone knows are the Miu Miu New Balances. That I think it's 2 shoes and 4 pairs of shoelaces. There was a Nomachenko hiker that did Namachenko hiker that did a similar thing. Maybe it's more of like just like big, colorful, fat, long laces. Is that the trend versus lots of laces?
I mean, that's more of like a Gorp remnant.
Yeah.
Just incorporated into like non necessarily, primarily Gorp ass shit, aka gas, Gorp ass shit.
Okay.
Or gash.
Yeah.
No. Yo,
but,
sick
I mean,
gash.
probably I'm gonna go with gas over gash.
Sick gash, bro. Yeah, but then you got to say like gas like fire.
But then also I think there's this idea of people like because of obviously hiking boots having another big year, or I guess carrying over from last year. This idea of like lace swapping with like just fun, fat, juicy, fucking tubies.
I'm not a fan. And honestly, when I
kicks.
first saw the photos, I was like, oh, those laces are too fucking fat, too obese. But they work.
They look great.
They do work because I think that if you have the floppy bunny ear loops. I always double knot. It's probably the herbiest thing about me is that I'm a double knotter.
For real? You
I
always
double knot.
When in doubt, double knot?
When in doubt, yeah, double knot.
I don't know if I've ever clocked that.
Because they never come, my shoes never come untied. I still knot them loose so I could slide. I slide off all my shoes. I don't retie and tie every single time. If that were the case, maybe I wouldn't double knot, but I'm a fucking double knotter, bro.
Slip and slide records over here.
So nice. I knotted them twice.
Not to fucking dogpile, but a double knot, I'm with you. That's maybe the most redacted thing about you. You're always double knotted. If there's laces, they're double knotted.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I never want my shoe to come untied. I never want it to bend down. Like that's like the most feminine a man can be is like bending over to tie his shoe.
That'll give her the ick for sure. Leather laces like that exist on a lot of like higher end menswear shoes that come untied fucking instantly. Those always need to be double knotted. I would just ban leather laces in general if it was up to me.
Well,
but doing it on something like this where it's more of an aesthetic choice,
it's not an aesthetic choice. It's not. Well, I guess it is because
you don't want the flop. You said
I think that big loops on the single knot are like the trade off to double knot. I think you win by double knot, or you look less Herbie by double knotting than by having bunny ear loops flopping around.
A lesser of two herbaceous evils.
Yeah, herbivores. Okay. So shout out Studio Nikki for double knot lacing the boy.
Maybe collab of the year?
Possibly.
We're struggling to add things. Not that this is not a great shoe, but we just need a... Yo, here's the other thing.
Someone at the Instagram menswear, someone was like, yo, are those the Studio Nicholson Paraboots? I'm like, yeah. He's like, oh, bro. Well, He wasn't a bro, but he's like, oh, I slept on those and I'm so fucking mad, especially seeing them right now.
I would love to know which of our esteemed peers and colleagues said that.
I don't think it's someone you follow.
Really? I follow a lot of that room. I'll be the first to admit it. You know me, bro. You got to show love to get love.
Yeah.
Here's my question for you, real quick, because I've been thinking a lot about this, and I probably should have brought it up off mic, but we're here and we're talking fitties. The fact that we normally have too many options, and it really kind of fucking kills the categories, especially in like the bottom third. Should we not just keep it shorter and curated?
That's been the goal.
So then
And
we're
that's what we've been
fucking on
saying.
track, baby.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Yeah.
Glass half full. Salute.
Yeah, I think with trends, it's a little like, whoa, no trends. But
Salute to a bad year, making our job easier.
All right, the socks are from Up There. The jeans are from Trebien, ready to wear.
Let's go.
With the twisted seam. I again have been wearing these. Well, one, like because of these fat ass Paraboot Michaels, I had to find like a big leg opening jean to wear them with. So I've been wearing these ever since the Michaels touchdown on Friday. And like it's one of those things where like you find something in your closet and you're like, oh my God, I forgot how much I fucking love these. And then you just like they have another moment. That's what I'm going through with both these jeans, old, and these shoes, new. The t-shirt is merch from our homies at Orion. Shout out to the Nihon Jean Tomodachis.
I don't know what that means, but shout them out.
The Japanese homies.
Cool. Oh, sick.
Yeah.
Tight. Can that be the title? That sounds so fucking hard.
The Nihon Jean Tomodachis.
Yeah, dude, it sounds like a fucking gang,
You
dude.
can put it down as I
don't know how to spell any of the words you just said.
I don't think we should title our episode a foreign language.
No?
No.
You learn something new every day.
Put it in the subhead or whatever.
Bro, you think I'm going to be able to spell Nigon how Tamagotchi?
Nihon Jean. Nihon is Japan. Jean is person. Tomodachi means friend.
What? Oh, so that's how they got Tamagotchi.
Yeah.
Duh. Hell yeah. It looks cool, but you're right. Probably people can't pronounce it. Maybe it might turn them off from listening.
Yeah, absolutely. There we go. The shirt is Colbo, this brown pinstripe number, loving a stripe. I have the pants already, but had to bust out the shirt, the matchy shirt, to kind of, brown on brown with the Studio Nikki Paraboots.
I talked to Eldar about the set that you got, and she actually said something to me that I think just proves why shopping in person and talking to a lot of these purveyors of these in-house lines or just like your local stores is so important, because this whole idea of like how we were saying that together it would be like a little bit of a romp him and a set.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, exactly. Versus wearing it like a suit. And what she told me, and I can't believe that my gigantic former stylist brain did not put this together. If you wore any button up shirt or button down shirt that you own, right? And then you put this over it like a shacket, you kind of are wearing it then like a suit, but you need the two collars to make it work. And maybe you tuck in that middle guy. Then
she's describing the look in the lookbook that convinced me that this was like that this brown subtle chalk pinstripe was like what I wanted.
Would you ever
their fall winter stuff?
Would you ever style it? You think like that? Is that a gym?
No,
move
that's
or
too that's too styly.
Okay,
that's not everyday shit. But yeah, shout out the in-house private labels who once again, whether it started out as like a little side project that became like a full-time significant part of the business, or it was always in the designs like Colbo, where it's like
no pun intended.
Tall was saying that it's like the in-house label was always going to be part of the project. And he put it so beautifully where it's like, it's actually a vessel that allows us to kind of engage with our friends and family and other brands in multiple ways. Same thing as like, putting on events and programming with the store, or we can collaborate on product with the brand. They're just in Japan for Porter Yoshida, Colbo collaboration.
Banger.
So again, like, get that article read. I'm curious if you guys liked it or not. There are a few positive comments.
All positive comments.
Yeah. Oh, and here's the big brain shit that I want to read about, because I think we're well behind the paywall now. Chris Gibbs, who again, like, he's in LA, he's a busy guy. We're not going to necessarily be able to pod with him all the time, but that doesn't mean we can't like tap into that big cranial of his.
And foundationally, a fucking legend.
Yes. So I had a few theories about like why in-house labels are thriving right now and why they're like courting a lot of investment internally from like the brands, from the stores themselves. But he provided a quote that I was like, oh shit, again, it's like his big brain. This is, mere mortals such as ourselves could never post this. Okay, I'm just reading full. Union has always been a place to break new brands, new ideas, new designers. We have spent the better part of the last 25 years being the first store to give something new a chance. Sometimes it hits right away and we're fiscally successful for our efforts, but most times it takes a couple seasons for the new thing to hit. Kudos to Union for having that patience and vision. We've always been proud to be able to give new ideas a place to grow, and over the years, we've been good enough at this to have a winning record, but it's hard. When a good brand / idea hits, we used to have a couple years of exclusivity, quote unquote, to help make a little money and help the brand grow, right? Identifying like a niche designer that finally just taps in or resonates with the consumer and, you know, it takes a minute for like other retailers to catch up per se, like let's say. In more recent times, we started to notice that the window for our exclusivity was shrinking and we weren't able to recoup our efforts. So much so that we decided to start complementing this offense with stuff that we design and make on our own that we can control the narrative a bit better and retain something special in the store that is exclusive and unique to us.
I love that, dude.
And that's like, you're never going to get that from fucking just two guys podcasting. You need like a guy that's been doing this for 3 decades.
I thought you were going to say you're never going to get that from fucking insert any major publication.
That too.
You know.
That too.
But you are going to get it via, you know what? It almost sounds like Throwing Fits is the vessel.
Yes.
Yes. All aboard.
It's
All
like
aboard the SS Throwing Fits.
The writing is the in-house private label of the podcast.
We got metaphors, bitch.
This one is from Jill Sonder. These two are from Bottega. The boxers are Hanes. The sunglasses are Bottega. I drank a Diet Pepsi, and this is an Nalgene full of Lower Side's finest.
That's it.
That's it.
That's the show.
Bye. No kidding. All right, Lawrence. Let's get to
here we go.
A topic that everybody had something to comment on, which is great.
The fact that even one person was like, we need an emergency pod about this. I'm like, okay, everyone fucking pump the brakes, but we have to talk about LVMH Ventures.
LVMH Luxury Ventures making a minority investment in our legacy. The reaction, at least in our little small world, piece of the world where we can like see instant reactions.
I think it's called an echo chamber.
The echo chamber was quite immediate.
And knee jerk.
And a bit concerned, it sounded like.
Yes.
Where, you know, obviously I'm very biased. Our legacy.
I think we both are.
Yeah, those are friends, longtime fans,
collaborators,
partners. We made money together.
Partners.
We broke bread together.
Those are my motherfucking partners, dude.
And I know that LVMH is seen as this like, you know,
evil conglomerate,
evil vampire squid that acquires small brands and makes them into like, you know, think of Ramova, right?
Yeah.
What else? Like Tiffany?
Great example.
Tiffany?
Well, low key, I think they might have brought Tiffany back from the brink of being like crazy irrelevant. But Ramova, I think all we've seen is a decrease in quality.
But that's an acquisition of a business, not a minority investment.
Mm-hmm.
And so LVMH Luxury Ventures exists within LVMH, but LVMH Luxury Ventures has only invested in 13 companies.
Lucky number 13.
Some they're still active investors in, some they have exited from. So, okay, here's a few. I just want to read both former and active investors of Officine Universelle Bully.
Okay.
The French, like, perfumier, home goods. We went to the guy's fucking 50th birthday party. Former investor. I mean, they now have, I think, like 3 stores in Paris. I'm sure they grew it to that amount, whatever. Stadium Goods, early investor, early stage VC. Gabriella Hearst, which they're still active in. Per, I guess, like the press. I don't know anything about Gabrielle Hearst except that she's a fucking Nepo baby.
Yep.
And I guess like that brand has gotten pretty big in like contemporary women's wear circles.
Totally. And definitely just a rich get richer type deal.
Yeah. Mad Happy, which, you know, fucking ALD of Gen Z.
Yo, and what I will say is that, well, okay, that's probably of the track record that these 13, well, I guess we should just focus on the ones that they're still involved in. Like that was like the best thing that ever happened to Mad Happy. And I hate to be the one to say this. You know, it could maybe be a collab of the year. Did you see the Mad Happy Danners?
No, but they
low-key snapped.
But Mad Happy Gap went crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Crazy. All right. Next up, we got Versed.
What is that?
I don't know what that is. It might be Christian clothing and lifestyle brand.
for guys that have all types of gay sex.
Yo, people that believe in God are fucking, they'll buy anything.
It's a gay sex Christian faith-based
not
clothing
versed.
brand.
It's versed, like I'm well versed.
I'm kidding.
Okay. Or it might be a skincare brand. I don't know.
One of the two.
Then we have List,
Ugh.
which I think.
What is List?
Well, I think List is more like the software.
It's a search engine for John's.
Exactly.
John's Solutions.
I think it's more like they scrape all the data and you can search whatever and they'll like surface it from like any store.
I do always come across lists because there'll be like a high fashion, under the radar John that's usually for men from a brand that menswear is a small part of their business. And I'm trying to hunt something down from a couple seasons ago and it's probably not sold out, but I can't find it anywhere. And you know who fucking finds it for me? List.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure it's just like a search engine software.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we have Hodinkee.
We all know how that went.
RIP. I don't know how that worked out.
No, they got copped again.
Oh yeah. That's right. Okay. Replica Software, which I think is more of like a POS, again, software, like POS for shopping. Then we have Heat, not the De Niro Pacino vessel
from 1995 classic. Ever seen it?
This is mystery box shopping.
She's got a great box. The best thing about Heat is when we were at Grail, they were seen as like a serious competitor. And as the brand director, someone who's supposed to take that kind of shit seriously, I could never not like completely laugh myself backwards out of any conversation about a hype-based mystery box business. Are you fucking kidding me? That is an L in LVMH.
Yeah.
That shit is fucking stupid.
Then,
Sorry,
you know what? I think
I'm
Replica
done.
Software is more like customer service generative AI chat. Okay.
What?
Because then we have Lucix, which I think Lucix is the software for sales and POS. It's more like it's management software. No, sorry, it's lab grown diamonds.
That's hardware.
Yeah.
Wait, real talk, because you're smarter than me. What is the difference between software and hardware?
Software is like this is hardware. The computer's hardware.
Oh, it's a physical thing.
Software is like the programmed application.
The operating system is software.
Yes.
The laptop is hardware. Okay.
The operating system is software. The chip that it runs on is hardware.
The Tamagotchi is hardware. The operating system that runs the Tamagotchi is software.
If you can touch it, it's hardware.
That's what she said.
Nice. And then we have our legacy. So it's only
you missed ALD.
Oh, sorry. I skipped over ALD between Lucix and Heat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Very selective.
12 or 13.
This
is from pitchbook.com. And also they're former investors they're only active investors 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
That's a curated roster, a curated portfolio, I should say.
So look, I get it. When people are like, oh, the big bad fucking VC firm, typically with VC, venture capital, it's like they come in, they give you money, but it's with terms, right?
You got to fuck it up.
You got to meet these goals. You got to change this shit. You got to like be more efficient, aka lay people off, whatever. I understand that that's like typical of, I don't know, the housing market or
you've seen Office Space, right?
Have seen Office Space.
Bringing in the bobs. We're bringing in the bobs to make cuts,
making it efficient.
Redundancies.
It was a crazy so people I guess like assumed that.
I think that everyone in our echo chamber thinks they're a fashion financial expert because this already happened with ALD and like everyone clearly has an opinion about that brand to begin with, and that only just added another extremely interesting layer that people can play armchair quarterback.
But that's extreme apples and oranges, I think, with ALD because yes, ALD's been around for 10 years.
Yeah,
but they've kind of that explosive growth leading into like the COVID. I mean, this isn't a shot at ALD, but ALD is like a brand based on like marketing, right, and like aesthetic and
software versus hardware.
Yeah, and our legacy has been around for 20 years. They only recently have experienced the type of growth that would like attract. And Yoakum, I think, said this in the New York Times article with the boy Jacob Gallagher, the exclusive New York Times article. That's good scoop, where it's like, the Armani collaboration probably got us on the radar of LVMH.
Definitely, like
taking those kind of like big. Well, it
wasn't the only podcast that matters.
I asked him about that. He said it came quite often. Didn't say if it was a positive or negative in the meeting.
Wait, really?
No, of course
Oh
it
my
didn't.
God, I was about to fucking bust.
Of course it didn't.
Alexander Arnault, meet me in the ring, bitch.
Well, like, okay, if companies take on money for different reasons, right? If we took on money, our needs and our immediate spends and like our plans for that money would be different than if like GQ took on money.
Yeah,
You know what I mean,
I'm going Rolex number 2 and 3 for
Okay.
sure.
All right. Yeah, that's how that works. So when ALD took on money, what did that lead to? Like more like higher quantities of production, probably their London store.
I was gonna
Maybe
say
just like establishing a presence in terms of infrastructure in Europe,
London
in terms
store,
of production and distribution.
definitely. I'm sure a London store and a complete New York revamp, and more their own footwear development versus footwear collabs. I'm sure a lot of these things are like in play for a brand of ALD's size and stature. All this does is turbocharge the timeline.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And speaking to that, a big thing that, and go back to the podcast we did with Yoakum. He talks about the retail plans that they had in place. It was
Facts.
just on like a multi-year timeline. And now with this injection of capital, they're able to shrink it. And he called it a friendly push in the back to finally get out there and do it in terms of expediting retail expansion. So again, he talks about it on the podcast. I was like, yo, if this brings a fucking store to New York, one, great for us. Two, great for the people in my DMs that are like, yo, I'm coming to New York. Who carries our legacy? Because I understand our legacy is a brand that is, I think, like the construction and materials and designs and details and fit are not your typical like brand on IG, right?
No.
You need, and this is true of like other brands like Orally, kind of like, grown man shit. If it's going to cost money, you want to make sure that you're investing your money wisely. You want to touch cloth.
The touch, the feel, the legacy of our lives.
Bro, you want to see how it fits. So I totally understand that like people are hesitant. And that doesn't necessarily always translate online.
No,
right?
It often does not.
Not even remotely. So if our legacy is continuing to produce clothing that is like kind of advanced and isn't just like a tit for tat, okay, yes, I get, the color I like, and for $180 or whatever. If it's going to be more than that, they're going to need like nodes of retail and interaction where you can actually try this shit on, in the US, which is their largest market.
Points of contact.
Thanks to Throwing Fits. Their credit, they credited us with that. Retail in the US, retail across Europe. I don't know. It's just like that I think is like where the emphasis has been when they said that they're taking on the LVMH stuff, and what Yoakum has been kind of like, he's in charge of that. And I think he's been kind of talking about that for a minute now.
Yeah.
So if that's what it happens, okay, let me stop yapping and get to Yoakum's words.
From the goat's mouth.
Yeah. Okay. We understand that our core fans are happy for us, but concerned. We've been talking to many different groups, and many tried to sell a vision like, in 3 years, you could be this big of a company if we only change this and that. Right. And like, oh, what is our legacy? It's not like they've fucking built one of the best brands in the world over 2 decades.
Right.
While operating at their own pace.
Exactly.
And doing whatever the fuck they want. That's why we landed with LVMH LV, Luxury Ventures. They basically said, don't change shit. We'll be here if you need anything, but if not, just keep doing your thing type beat. And then I said, do you think this will help expedite retail expansion? Drooly face emoji. He said, yes, it's a friendly push in the back to finally get out there and do it. Brand and expression won't change. Pricing won't change. They actually stressed that our legacy pricing is key.
Yep, I agree.
Which is in that like $200 to $600, maybe like you have the $1,000 like fuck you leathers.
Yep.
But everything else is nicely in that like $250 to $600 range.
How often have we on the show talked about how crucial that mid-tier of brands is, and quite frankly, is the lifeblood of our enthusiasm. And OL is, I think, not patient zero, because obviously brands had existed probably before that, but like they are the fucking billboard for that. And yeah, I think that pricing is, and honestly, I think we're going to have a little conversation about pricing later in the show and how important it is, not just to guys like me and you, but guys that listen to this program. And the fact that everyone involved realizes that at a foundational level that can't and shouldn't change is, I think, an extremely refreshing sentiment to here.
Yeah, and like we can't be completely naive and be like, oh
No.
yeah, they're LVMH is like, hey, here's free money,
Right.
but it's like, yo, if OL has like kind of like gained all this momentum and they reach a point where it's like, well, we have all these plans and we can execute them, but it's a 10-year plan.
Mhm.
Now it's like, oh, this is actually a 3-year plan.
Boom.
And everyone that's involved stands to gain from that. LVMH, the investors, all the homies that have been there for years doing their motherfucking thing. Yeah. So I guess like the immediate knee-jerk reaction is like, oh shit, price is going to go up, quality is going to go down. When you heard it here from the GOAT himself, price is staying the same, quality staying the same, marketing and how they choose to express themselves is staying the same.
Who they choose to collab with?
The only thing really changing is you're going to have more access, baby.
Honestly, I know it's hard for us to be like totally subjective. New and old listeners of the program will know how strongly we feel about this brand, how we've been advocates for as long as we've known them. And I think congratulations are in order to the homies, the stock homies on a personal level. And my final thought here, and I don't know if you have something that you want to say to put a bow on it, but as I've always said, the more good taste in the world, the better. If this means more OL stores and more opportunities for all of the wonderful, beautiful listeners, both in front of and behind the paywall, to get hands-on and experience for themselves why this brand is so important to us and the show, that is a good thing, period. I'm done.
Yeah, I think it goes back to just like, you and I have been on this like retail shit where it's like, yo, as you start to like try and spend more, as you come into more money and as you try to like maybe I want to spend a little bit more money, but like you're doubtful, shopping online cannot fucking answer all your questions or scratch that itch. And yeah, there's like generous return policies and blah, blah, blah. But like that's so soulless versus actually going now, potentially having the chance to go into an Our Legacy store in other parts of the world besides just Stockholm, London, Korea, I think Dover Street, Ginza. Am I fucking breaking? Berlin.
Yeah, and also like if you are in New York and you stop by Cueva and you try on a fucking leather mini jacket, like that's great, but like Cueva's not going to have the whole spread, right? That's a buy that they curate. And shout out to Justin and his people for doing a good job, and all the retailers that stock OL for doing that. That's their fucking job. But to go into a flagship store with a brand where you can touch and feel and try on everything is much different than it just being a rack in a great store with a bunch of other racks.
And again, it's especially for a brand where it's like, it's not just like, hey, blue stripe shirt. It's like shit that is a little more kind of advanced in terms of materials, construction, whatever, fit. So yeah, having the chance to do that and whether it is like a multi-department retailer that's bringing and surfacing like well-known or like niche guys to the forefront, or just like a brand, seizing the narrative and being and having their own shit. And an Our Legacy store is fucking one of those places where you walk and you're like, I need to improve my life. Whether you're in London, Berlin, Stockholm, DSM Ginza, you walk out of there and just like, fuck, like I need to learn more about art, or I need to do better,
or just walk in there and be like, hold all my afternoon calls.
Yeah.
I'm going to make a day out of this. No, I'm excited, man. It's great.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got to shop in person in Stockholm, in London, whatever. Like the fact that we
Berlin's
could maybe
Vegas, I think.
Yeah. And the fact that we could, maybe have an opportunity to do that sooner rather than later in the greatest city on earth, in my opinion. Woo, lock in.
Shout out the stock homies and congrats again. Oh, further congrats to another one of our homies. Huge week for menswear fucking nerds. Aaron Levine, his eponymous brand is nigh.
I think it's called Aaron Levine, New York.
Yeah.
Which is ironic because he lives in Ohio.
Well, for tax reasons,
it's made here.
You know what?
Well, actually, no, that's not true. I think some of it's made in Detroit. It is being designed here.
Shout out to Aaron Levine for taking up residency in a swing state and doing what he can to unsuccessfully flip the state back to blue.
Yeah.
So
he's got twin daughters.
Aaron Levine. What's that?
His daughters he has twins and their daughters, I'm saying. Hence the voting. I was going off the voting thing.
Okay.
Anyway, we can move on.
This has been a long time coming. I know that. Yo, shout out Aaron Levine for having 118,000 Instagram followers.
My man is juiced to the fucking tits.
I didn't realize that until again I saw Jacob Gallagher's article about this. I'm like, well, he had 116 in the article. I'm like, 100 fucking what?
How'd he cop 2 G's since the time of fucking closing, dude?
Bro, he copped 100
filing at the time of filing.
Since our first pod with him, he copped 90,000. And well deserved, because I think like he and the angle of the article I like the most is like, yo, he has kind of earned a bit of like curmudgeoniness, where it's like, I'm sick and tired of being like the guy behind the brand. It's time that I can finally stand on my own.
Let me get some credit.
Motherfucking feet.
Yeah.
Get some credit. It's, speaking of, the money of things, it's his, there's no other major investors. It is his money. He's putting his money where his fucking mouth is. Designs are.
Yeah, for real. Where's his brain is, where his hands are.
What do you think?
Aaron is, like you said, well, a lot of things it's well deserved. The big thing for me is that, like, as we've been saying for every time we pod with him, and since we've known him for, he's one of the first guys I ever reach out to in menswear many moons ago via Facebook Messenger. Wow. Or no, I don't even think Facebook Messenger existed. I just sent him a message on Facebook. Aaron has been a beacon, North Star, Yoda for the stylish real guy, which I think is why every time he pods with us, he's been so successful. Because it's one thing to be the behind the scenes guy at fucking Abercrombie, at fucking Hickey, at fucking Madewell, Vince, a little bit of ALD, whether this was full-time or consulting is neither here nor there. The sauce that he brings is so palpable, I think, to a average real man guy, even a kid who gives a fuck about looking better. I think that Aaron is the most interesting kind of older brother avatar for how you can do that in a tasteful, tangible, approachable way. And I think that this launch of his own brand, which is, I think it's small. It's not like this crazy, like we got 1,000 fucking SKUs and all these colors. I think it's as dialed as he is in his personal style. I think it's like this, it's a very interesting curated capsule for like a dude who's looking to, like, again, a real guy who's looking to level up. And I think the value prop is very interesting. What I am very curious about, and I do not have any breaking news here, is that where are we going to land when it comes to retail pricing? Because pricing for me, as this is what I was calling back to, or I was foreshadowing with OL, pricing is everything, right? Well, okay, if it's not everything,
it's significant.
It's fucking 90%, right?
It's certainly very significant.
Yeah.
You can be immediately priced out of it's like, oh, congrats, but I'm never going to be able to be a part of that.
Right, exactly.
Like someone's like, yo, the new Bottega's fire. I'm like, okay, like I can't get a $12,000 fucking woven leather trench coat.
No, we're not there yet. And you don't want to, and admiring from afar as an enthusiast is cool, but at a certain point, even if you have a little scratch in your pocket, like you want to buy in, literally and figuratively. And I think that, I'm just curious to see, like, what is a shirt from Aaron going to cost?
Well, I'll say this. I think Aaron has built-in goodwill and built-in trust from like a lot of people that know his pedigree,
right,
and know what he's been involved with, whether it's kind of like making Abercrombie relevant in like 2020, 2021, or I guess we started seeing his designs even continuing into like 22, 23.
Yeah.
At least like turning that cruise ship, like
Absolutely.
we said. Madewell, kind of another mall brand offering like super affordable stuff that didn't look like shit.
Mm-hmm.
The work at ALD, I don't know, people and like hearing him on the pod, I think people will, his brain, like he's not successful by accident. Like he's not like throwing darts at the wall. Like he knows what the market wants. Mm-hmm. He knows what's going to sell. He knows the price point, the merchandising, what to design, people want fleet. Like he knows what the market is going to want before the market actually starts buying it.
Throwing darts at the wall. He's designing the darts himself.
He is the dartboard.
Yeah. I think that, the one thing that, and I would love to, and hopefully we can have Aaron back on, hopefully as part of like what will be like, let's be real, promotional junket for this brand. And obviously we want to hear from another goat's mouth versus like us just sitting here speculating, even though like, we've known about this for a while. And I think Aaron has probably like alluded to it on mic in terms of like him coming to grips with the idea of being a face, right? Because he's a humble guy. It doesn't matter fucking how smart he is.
Oh, but what a face.
Yeah, right.
Well,
what a beard.
It's 80% beard.
Yeah.
But Yo, that guy's beard smells good. He's got fucking fire beard oil.
Yeah, the one thing that I'm actually curious about, and I can't wait to ask him this, is the timing of all of this, because this is the article that is out, in the Times, courtesy.
It's launching this week. Later this week.
So when you hear this, it'll be out in a couple days.
I think it's launching either this week or in like I forget, like maybe in the November 20 something.
Yeah.
It's imminent.
Right. And I know timelines in production and design are extremely complicated. And you and I have learned this in real time trying to, get the Throne Fits private label up and running off the ground. But the fact that this line is launching, he just launched the collab with Drake's, and he just had that like capsule with Madewell. It's crazy how all of these things are coming in such quick succession, and they're all at different price points, which is, I think, the glass half full take. But I'm curious as to the timing of all of these launches, because it's a lot of options, all with Aaron's name attached. And the positive there is, okay, how much do you want to spend? Do you want to spend Madewell prices? Do you want to spend whatever the Aaron Levine New York prices are? Do you want to spend the Drake's prices, which are probably at the higher end? But like, I think it's interesting the timing of all these things literally coming back to back to back versus maybe spreading them out a bit more.
Yeah, but part of that isn't necessarily his.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Control, right?
You can't control some of that stuff.
Shit comes in waves. I mean, we had a ton of SpawnCon video content like September, October.
Is that apples and oranges or just?
No, I mean, you do shit like
when you can.
You're not like, okay, great. What am I gonna? I really want to pack out November. That's 9 months from now.
Yeah.
You just you take on work and opportunities as they come. You're not in control of timelines. Like the Drake's production timeline is different than the Madewell production timeline.
Yeah.
Aaron Levine New York has been in the works for a while now, and takes up the majority. I mean, you can't. Like, yeah, shit's made in Detroit. Shit's designed in New York. Shit's made in overseas. Well, I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to speak to that.
No.
He's commuting in from Ohio. He's going to fucking Billyburg. He's got Nolan up in Montreal.
True. Got shooters worldwide,
Yeah.
dude. He's got the Utes.
International. The Utes fam.
This reminds me actually of one of my favorite quotes from one of the wisest men I know. I think it goes something like this. The greatest luxury of all is saying no. And sometimes when you have the opportunities, you got to fucking say yes, right? But turning down bags is a luxury. So yeah, I mean, for Aaron to fucking fund all of his big hopes and dreams and work with fucking dream partners, I guess, yeah, you say yes to all the good shit. And if it all comes out at once, it all comes out at once. I was quoting you, by the way. You hate when I do that because you hate that quote.
Oh, there's power in saying, oh, I just hate the attribution.
Why?
Or when you're like, oh, my Shogun, fucking racist.
No, my Nihonjin Tomodachi.
Tomodachi is the pet video game. The hardware video game. Sega Genesis is the hardware. Sonic is the software.
Sonic is a hedgehog.
True. What? Captain Boogerman? What was that?
Robotnik.
What was
Dr. Robotnik?
No.
He's a doctor.
No. Captain Booger. Oh, Captain Underpants? No. Fartman. Fartman was my favorite Sega Genesis game.
I was a
Boogerman, a pick and flick adventure.
Wow. I was a remember Sega TV?
No,
that was a thing. What was my Genesis game? My neighbor had Genesis. Well, I had a Dreamcast. I think I've talked about this before. I was a Dreamcast guy. Sega Dreamcast.
That explains a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a dreamer.
Yeah, you're a fucking. No one wanted to play.
No
one wanted to play with you.
The greatest tennis video game of all time, Virtual Tennis, was, I believe, a Dreamcast exclusive. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Congrats to Aaron. We will hopefully book him.
I want to talk about Boogerman.
Okay, sorry, my bad.
So he was a plumber that I think,
but not Italian.
He got his powers from Snottrium 357.
What was his nationality?
I don't know. Just kind of like a fat white fuck, but he could fly by farting, and he could destroy like the goblins by just flicking his booger.
Oh, so it's a game for 12-year-old boys.
Yeah, it was
exclusively.
Awesome. It was awesome.
That makes total sense.
One dark and stormy evening, the civic-minded Professor Stinkbomb was working in his lab above Takey Dump.
This literally sounds like something a copy that we wrote.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, shout out Aaron. I think it's gonna be another addition to this kind of space where it's like $200-ish shirts where the production, where the quality is worth it.
Right.
You're
With
not,
good details.
you're not gonna look like every other bozo wearing, or every other guy that's like, it's gonna be like a step up from like the J. Crews and
Yeah,
not,
absolutely.
I don't think Drake Christ is, but we'll see.
Do we have any quotes from Aaron too that we could read?
No, I hit him, but earlier to see if he had anything to say, but he was super busy.
I can read a quote
Yeah, read it.
because I had a conversation with him over the weekend.
Go ahead.
I don't want to say anything that he said.
Okay.
I have a quote though, which is, "Don't ever read Reddit." I think is my quote.
Oh, okay, yeah,
So we can just attribute that to me.
yeah.
It's crazy. Honestly, the price thing just gets hammered home every time that Drake's comes up. And I made an analogy to you that I feel like you fucked with, and I would like to relay it to the audience at home. I understand that like a ton of our audience, and honestly, just the menswear audience, like is so price conscious, which is why like when I say price is everything, I know it's not everything, but like it can't be overstated. Like the Drake's relationship with the menswear enthusiast to me is so interesting. And Drake's is a brand. We have friends there. They are definitely friends of the show. We have collabed with them multiple times. We've done live programming at the New York store. This idea of like Drake's versus menswear nerds solely based around price, and then I guess like the quality at that price is such like, I forget again how important it is. And this is not me like, I'm privileged and I'm a rich fucking podcaster. I'm a consumer and I am cheaper than everybody listening, I guarantee you.
Oh, cheap
but
as fuck, boy.
Yes, you can confirm.
Cheap as fuck, boy.
But I always forget that like when it comes to Drake's, the amount of fucking vitriol that people have for the MSRP is so insane. And the only way that I can kind of equate what I think is maybe like this overreaction is kind of what you see online from guys where it's like, well, I'll never be able to fuck that chick, so she must be a dumb fucking whore. It's like insane to me the way that motherfuckers, whether it's in our echo chamber or even outside of it, like react so fucking passionately about Drake's pricing. It's fucking crazy.
I have a Drake's made to measure suit. A Drake's made to measure suit is not that outlandish.
It's fuckable.
I think it's like, it's fuckable. It's like a soft 7. Like, I think that it was just over a G, which is a lot of money. That's a lot of money. But for a very high quality suit, I think that is like pretty standard market retail. Yes, you can go cheap. You can always go cheaper. You can go fucking vintage. You can go J. Crew. You can go, mall brand. You can go crazy expensive. You can get the fucking woven leather from Bottega for the price of a Honda Civic. But just over a G for a Drake's made to measure, which is their house style. It's like they have like stock swatches and button options, and you don't really get to fuck around that much as like a custom. It was just over G, and I wear that suit because I got a super light tropical wool. I wear it because all my weddings and shit happen in the summer. I wear that suit the most because it's the only suit that stands up to the heat. So it's like, oh, fuck Drake's for being so expensive, but it's like, yo, be a smart shopper.
You're right. And
okay, if you don't want to spend $600 on a scarf, fine. Yeah. But why do you have to be so angry about it?
Yeah, it's true. The anger is what is kind of like why I felt this should, there was some merit in mentioning it. But let me hedge or let me couch like JD Vance and say that I do think that this idea of brands continuously raising their prices because of COVID and supply chains and inflation
and guess what?
The economy and things outside of their control.
Get used to it because it's only about to get fucking worse with Trump's tariffs.
Yeah, I do understand that if you're going to do that, the average customer that maybe knows too much for their own good, to shout out something we talked about with Kathleen to some degree, I think they do expect it to be a two-way street where like, a brand that is already good as fuck. I don't know how they necessarily add value, when they raise the prices because of external macroeconomic factors. Because, like, I don't know, maybe it's like people do that thing where the country of origin, they just fall into like whatever stereotypes and fucking old wives' tales exist around, like, oh, it's made in Vietnam, so it must be whatever. Or, 5 years ago, it was made in this other place that whatever internal biases I have just make me think that place is better just because, it was, made by a white person in a sweatshop or whatever the fuck. Not that I'm saying that about Drake's, but it just, the anger, it blows me away and I don't see it. And again, this is our echo chamber. It comes out with Drake's like no other brand.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
Shame for you fuckos. But yeah. I don't know.
You're allowed to be. I mean, God, listen. You're allowed to be
that's
angry.
your opinion.
I'm just saying
if you can't afford it, fucking.
Your experience is valid, and we hear you. And you guys can be very.
Yeah, but it's like, yo, I can't afford eggs. Let me elect Trump.
Yeah, I mean,
white people can't afford eggs and turn into Hitler.
Yeah, right. I can't afford Drake's. Let me vote for Brexit 2.0.
Yeah, Texas exit. Heard about that?
Honestly,
let it go, bro. Just let him go.
Will I be allowed to? Well, I need a separate passport to see my family, my in-laws.
No, your U.S. passport.
But it's going to be, who's calling for Texit? Texans?
Texas, I think.
I mean, they reelected Ted Cruz. I mean, you guys get what you fucking deserve. And I love Texas. You know me. That's my fucking second home. But
yeah.
Anyway.
Speaking of echo chamber, we went to a Instagram menswear summit earlier today.
The inaugural.
The first ever
Instagram.
Meta menswear summit.
Well, actually, technically, it's the Instagram menswear summit trademark 2024.
Yeah. Shout out our close personal friend Mark Zuckerberg. Instagram menswear forum TM 2024 New York 10003. Was what was on the merch that we didn't take.
I took it.
Yeah, all of it.
I got all of it, baby.
Why?
Because it's merch.
Okay. Merch is dead.
It was made by our close personal friend Alex Hartman.
It's made by him. He gets the bag no matter what.
That is true.
And they're like, you only sold. You're getting the bag on commission.
Yeah.
Who takes the free merch?
It's on what is that called? Consignment. The bag on consignment. Yeah.
So this was fun, right? So I used to work at Snapchat, as longtime listeners of the podcast will know. And I was like, yo, this will be funny to like get a little inside glimpse of like kind of how Instagram views menswear content creators.
Yes.
And what they are going to choose to like hype up, impart wisdom upon,
best practices.
Educate on best practices, tell us about like products going down the pipeline. I was like, we should definitely do this. Although we can only stay for like 2 hours. We got a rundown of best practices and we got a Q&A with Eva Chen, the head of fashion on Instagram. She's if you don't know who Eva Chen is,
she's a fucking legend.
She was at Lucky. She was
Januzzi's old boss, I believe, at one point. Yeah.
And then she that is like the jackpot. I mean, obviously an extremely difficult job. She's held it down for like 10 years. But yeah, fucking money wise, you shitting me, bro?
She's
shitting me?
She's a legend. She would be an all-time get for the pod. We are working on it. I think that
No, okay. Yeah, sure.
Wait, can I not say that? I mean, I'm not promising anything.
All right.
I mean, you know how many fucking, and that's the thing so I was surprised that we were invited straight up.
Okay.
You weren't?
Well, I was a little like, what is this going to be? My gut, having done these both on the presenter side at Snapchat or the host side, and also having been to a few of these when I was at Complex, when I was at Def Jam, I was like, you know what? I guarantee a lot of this is just going to be like, hey guys, like a lot of flattery, or like you're special. A lot of, we see you, we hear you, we care about you. You're an important part of the platform. Here's best practices, and the best practices dictating this. I think that I would interpret this as true. The best practices basically for Instagram is use every product and use it as often as you can.
Keep on posting,
which is true of if you know what fucking Snapchat best practices or X best practices. Post porn and Ukrainian soldiers getting beheaded.
There was some, I mean, I told you that I took pictures of like all the best practices so that we could like relay. And you were like, that's so fucking stupid and it's going to be a waste of time. Here's something that's interesting. This is my biggest takeaway from the best practices. Post your dumps, guys. And in those dumps right now, obviously include music. That's pretty fucking clear, which like you and I hate, but like is a thing that obviously a lot of people are doing. This was kind of interesting to me. You got a lot of interesting content. You got the blurry photo. You got the fit pic. You got the pic of the food. The one thing apparently you're not supposed to include right now, and this could change by the time you hear this, don't throw a video in that fucking dump. Don't throw a video in that carousel. Keep it static.
They're beta testing having the photo dumps live as reels with music in like the explore page, in the reel page. But yeah, it's like, you know, I'm like, I don't know. It really was just like, hey, use everything, use every product available and like use it often.
Yeah.
It was a real who's who of the menswear world up in that bitch. I left to go to the bathroom and I came back in at one point and I was like, yo, it literally smells crazy in here.
It might have been
the amount of fucking cologne that you sensmen use.
Yeah.
Like, I know you're a heavy douser. You're a heavy douser.
Yeah, and I learned that via the sensman himself, Rodrigo, when we did the Hawthorne video.
Really?
I don't go as crazy.
Spray 40 times?
No, I think he said 18, but no. But
it was straight up on an olfactory level, very offensive. Because they're just like clashing fucking like, whoa, what is it? Like, it was just like, yo, why? I didn't sign up to have like my senses assaulted by like 30 dudes in that room.
As a guy who does
it was just a clash of fucking notes and woodiness and herbalness and medicinal and fruit. I was just like, oh my God.
I'll give you credit for someone who like doesn't wear cologne and like actively hates it, though this is maybe proving my point. You even noticed the other day I switched my scents up for the season and you like immediately recognized and called it out and knew that I had,
because you wear it very heavily.
Yeah. Is it too much? Should I scale back?
I think
Be honest. Oh, yeah? I don't know.
I've never want to eat sushi with you. That's for damn sure.
Oh, that ruins the experience.
There's a few omakase places. Well, it's quite the standard in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to like a high-end sushi place, you do not wear perfume or cologne because it ruins the palate of other diners around you. You might think that you fucking smell fantastic, but guess what? It is fucking up the people around you. And that's a Japanese thing. And I've started to see... or like Asian societies that are more about the collective than the individual. I have started seeing some restaurants in New York that's like, especially for like high end, you're paying a lot for omakase. Please respect everyone's like olfactory senses and taste palates, and like do not wear cologne or perfume to dinner.
With that said, because I do know that a lot of the audience I feel like are huge sensmen. I think it's like, honestly, it's one of these things where I think it's like it's really a binary thing. Either you're super into it.
What'd you call me?
Either you're super into it. I think you called me bisexual as like the first thing up top, by the way.
No, I said you're telling me this coast is bi.
Okay.
Bi-coastal.
Bi-coastal.
You're telling me this nary is bi?
but I switched up my Hermes H24 for spring summer. I switched over to my Creed Aventus.
Creed
Aventus. Creed is a very high end. You never heard of Creed? It's like one of the...
Yeah, they fucking rock, bro.
and the
6 feet is a stone's throw.
But I'm wearing... my scent for the fall is Creed Aventus for any clones out there that would also like to smell like Larry. It's a great fucking fragrance.
If
Jenna loves it.
Smell like Larry, yeah.
6 feet from the edge. So it was a smallish room, 20 or so people.
Smallish, stinky room.
Every menswear content creator that either you love or you hate, that you're aware
or
of.
You love to hate or you hate to love.
That mainly lives in New York was there. We don't need to go through the whole roster. All you need to know is that the only podcast that matters was in the building. And I think the highlight...
Why are you surprised that we were there? Because like I will say, I think a lot of the advice didn't apply to us. Because it's
that's what I'm saying.
Like we are content creators, but the content we create isn't like Instagram native.
No,
right?
Exactly. Not at all.
It is promoted on Instagram and promoted on Instagram tool. Well. Mm-hmm. And like and like memes aren't like original. Well, sorry. All our memes are original, even if people get in our DMs like, oh, I have the same idea. And then we have to tag them. Right?
Yep.
But in terms of like content creators, I think it's more like, man on the street or like green screen where it's like the 10 best vintage stores.
Absolutely.
This is why the boots are so good.
Yeah, the best hiking boot laces to buy right now type shit. Which you obviously see on subs. This is a cottage industry, whether it's Substack or Instagram or fucking X.
So I basically tuned out the whole thing on about you.
Well, what I was going to say is best practices aside, and even if there was like some interesting takeaways that I'm going to apply to my personal Instagram feed, and I don't know if they necessarily apply to Throwing Fits. I thought the highlight of the day was not so much the best practices, but was the Q&A with the woman herself, Eva Chen. And both of us, well, I think between us, so there's a Q&A, and it's kind of like, we kind of ran into this most recently at No Tray, where, we're doing the live pod with Leo, and some people before and after, I don't know if this happened to you, asked me either, was there going to be a Q&A because they had a question prepared for Leo, or after the fact, why there wasn't, when obviously they can just go up to Leo themselves and ask. But this idea of like, the Q&A can either go, well, in our experience, we've seen it typically go one way, which is this should not be a thing that happens at a live podcast. But in a room with 20 menswear creators, you and I got some interesting questions in, and I feel like we got some interesting answers. I don't know if you would like to go first and relay.
Well, the first question I asked was, hey, I mean, it was a question I knew they wanted me to ask.
I could tell.
Yeah.
Were you being like a teacher's pet, low key?
No, because I think that
high key.
I think there could have been value in the response to the question, because she wasn't there for like the presentation. She just kind of repeated a lot of like talking points we'd already heard. I was like, hey, are there any products coming down the pipeline you can tell us about that you're excited about for like the fashion space on Instagram? And when I say products, I mean like for like adding music to carousel. That's a product, right? Collaborative posts. That's a product.
Yep.
I don't mean like a reel or a broadcast or I remember IGTV. That was crazy that they
I know when they brought that up, I was like, wow, blast from the motherfucking
I was like,
past,
trauma unlocked.
For real, dude. That's a real COVID trauma.
And instead we just kind of got a quick rehash of like, oh, like reels are great. It's like, yeah, we know. Feed is great. Yep. Also, we know that too. So that was a bit of a, I don't know, I guess
rehash.
A bit of a rehash, but at least it broke the ice because then the questions came heavy.
You always got to be, you're the Neil Armstrong, the Rosa Parks, the Obama of the Eva Chen Instagram Menswear Forum TM 2024 Q&A. But you did have an amazing second question.
Yeah.
Which is, you
want to ask your question first?
I, in kind of almost like honestly, just a little audition for the pod that hopefully will happen one day. I was curious to know what menswear brands or designers Eva is it Ava or Eva? Eva. So
you're thinking of Wally. Eva.
I wanted to know personally what Eva was into when it comes to following, or maybe not even following, but just like brands and designers that are doing things right. And I asked that, like I said, jokingly because of the audition for the pod that may or may not happen. But at the same time, that's something that I feel like you and I have touched on a few times on this pod, where it's like, you got to fucking really pull out all the stops if you're a brand or designer to get me to follow you. Because otherwise,
by the way, it is Eva.
It's Eva. Yeah. Okay. Good to get that. We don't want another Sobera situation on our hands.
Yeah.
Now,
that was a good question. Thank you. She did say, oh, I get asked this question all the time,
which is hilarious because and that happens sometimes on the pod, and we'll typically hit that with the kind of knee jerk, well, I guess I'll just go fuck myself, because we pride ourselves on the quality of our questions as professional yappers and interviewers. Despite the fact that she said that she's been asked that question a lot, she still didn't have a great answer.
Yeah, bro. And you sassed her. And you sassed her good.
Well, it was just a little repartee.
A little razzing?
No, not razzing. We're just having fun, trying to make the room laugh. It's kind of like, you and
Eva.
It's a little bit of crowd. It's a crowd work.
Sure.
Anyway, with that said, I was surprised to hear that the menswear that hits her radar is either stuff to buy her husband to make him
apparently dresses like shit.
Yeah, to make him not look like total embarrassment.
It sounds like he dresses like social network era Zuckerberg. The fuck you flip flops and the fuck you flip flops.
Yeah. The Gap hoodie and the fuck you. The Gap.
I'm sorry, Eva. My Prada's at the cleaners.
Yeah, honestly, that would have been so fucking sick. Damn it.
Why didn't you quote the social network to Eva Chen?
I don't know if she's a cinephile. It's a Mad Happy Gap hoodie and the fuck you flip flops. That's what it is. So it was stuff that she can buy her husband, that he doesn't feel intimidated to wear, which is interesting because, right, again, talk a lot about regular guys who are interested in menswear. There are a lot of regular guys who like want to look better for a variety of reasons, but menswear, fashion, whatever, can be very intimidating. So that's like
where do you start?
Yeah, exactly. Right. It's daunting. So that's refreshing here. But then she immediately kind of just went to like the stunt marketing shit that you and I hate, which
celebrity stunt marketing,
which would be like the perfect transition into our final segment. But this idea of like, okay, well, I'm not really a menswear fan, but I run fashion for Instagram and I am a very fashionable person with a fashionable pedigree. With that said, she was like talking about Jeff Goldblum and Kith, and I brought up Seinfeld, and that's kind of where we landed on.
Yeah.
So hopefully she has a better answer if she ever comes on the show.
That was like, I think
I was trying to set her up.
I think this menswear forum was like, hey, faces to names you may have been emailing with. Also, there has been turnover in the Instagram fashion space at HQ.
Mm-hmm.
And now that I think about it, I'm like, yo, is there not like a menswear lead of like is menswear just so insignificant in the grand scheme of things, where women's fashion is obviously an influencer, like whatever, just the women's side of things. By the way, gendered bathrooms at Facebook.
No, see, I think that's a bit of a misnomer, because if you'll notice, the women's room, it's only a half woman. So it's really like more.
You calling a trans person a half woman?
No, the symbol that they use, the skirt is only on one side. So
the letters said men and women, and then there was an all gender bathroom option that was more like a lactation/family room.
But you know what they do have that I think we should honestly institute this policy for Throwing Fits HQ. I would like an interfaith room.
Okay. So what?
What if we kissed? What if we kiss in the meta interfaith room?
So this white boy can say inshallah in the fucking interfaith room?
In the privacy of an interfaith room, yeah.
Yeah, it's like an airport.
No, so the menswear thing is interesting because I think we have two different perspectives here. I thought, and we can kind of rehash this conversation we had in the Uber back here, but the fact that they even did this, while yes, part field trip, while yes, part like buttering up people that, again, it's like, please use Instagram more.
We're only getting 600 billion views on Reels a day. We need to double that, please.
We gotta pump those numbers up. I thought that the fact that this even happened and will presumably happen again, this being the inaugural one, was kind of like validation that like menswear content creation within the fashion vertical, of Instagram is clearly a non-insignificant portion of those 600 billion views on Reels.
How long has Instagram been around?
I don't know.
How long has Eva Chen been at Instagram? 10 years, right?
Yeah, I think
she said first time in 10 years there's been a menswear like gathering.
We up.
First time in 10 years.
Boys up.
And then it's like, think of any time Instagram has been involved in the fashion space. Like, what menswear brand in America could like partner up with IG on a significant enough level, or that is significant enough to partner up with IG, where like women's wear, name a fucking, throw a rock and you hit a women's wear brand that is collabed with IG.
I'm not comparing. I'm just saying the fact that this to me just proves that we are living currently in the menswear moment.
I don't know, bro. I don't know. Cause like,
which is, by the way, which is what's good for the goose is good for the motherfucking gander. Dog.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, well, yes, but then it's also like, wait, really? Like this is the best moment of men, Jordan. These are the best men we have to offer.
These are the best and brightest minds.
Yeah, bro.
I mean, we are part of that. We're not being mean because we were in the room.
Right. I don't know. I think it was a little like, hey,
I felt good.
I felt a little like, okay.
See, you did this so much as a function of your job at Snapchat and Complex.
And Def Jam.
And despite, me working at a tech startup myself with Grail, like, more of my editorial background, it was always fighting against the current, moving upstream, trying to get recognition and validation that men's fashion was important to a significant portion of the fashion enthusiast population, and I never got to like experience that. And I know what we're talking about with you is that you sat through symposiums of this sort that weren't necessarily about menswear. I guess for me, maybe I'm being a bit naive, but I was like, this is validating. That's all.
Okay. I also just think like it's echo chamber where it's like,
yes, sure.
compared to women's fashion and both the money, it's like J. Crew, right? Like everyone's like, oh, men's J. Crew. Women's J. Crew is outpacing men's J. Crew like, I don't know, 10x.
Well,
right? But no one talks about it because that's just the scales are fucking opposite ends of the spectrum.
But it's also a proportional thing where it's like outpacing overall, but that growth percentage of this category that we exist in is clearly a rocket ship enough that we're being called into the fucking mothership.
And to quote Rodney Dangerfield, it's like, or I don't want to be part of any club that'll have me.
And to quote Rodney Dangerfield, I don't get no respect.
I don't want to be a part of any club. I don't want to be a member of any club that'll have me.
That's how, yeah.
Right? Where it's like, it's like, this is the best and brightest.
Okay.
Like, we're here.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I'm with you, brother.
I was able to sneak in a question at the buzzer, asking Eva.
Here we go.
And I want to be like, yo, as a fashion icon yourself, as someone that has been in the fashion space on the editorial side, on the tech side, on the platform side, as like a legit fashion influencer yourself, what do you think about Mark Zuckerberg's personal style transformation?
Yeah,
recently?
The current pivot.
And she gave a good. I liked her answer.
She fucking handled it perfectly and stuck the landing. I'll let you kind of sum up.
She's like, look, I'll say this. She's like, I'm not a big fan of big graphic T-shirts. And then she's looking around. She's like, oh shit, did I piss anybody off? Luckily, no.
Yeah.
I mean, well, maybe this, honestly.
The room was more or less on the right side of history.
I was buttoned up. There's some crazy fits in there. There was some.
Sorry. She was there was smelled crazy, looked crazy. I actually should flip that. She was kind of more on the right side of history with her answer in terms of not offending the room.
She was like, look, I will say this. I'm a fan of people trying something new.
There it is.
And I was like, me too, sister. Didn't say that. She didn't get to the top of the totem pole by not being good at diplomacy and playing and politicking. So shout out to Eva for giving us an answer without saying the words themselves.
Oh, and then also the chain anecdote, which she said was out there in public and was actually interesting. And I did not know this. I don't know if you were aware of this, but this idea that Zuck is going kind of like fuck boy Paul Mescal normal people with the chain to match the bus and bangs is actually a misnomer. And it's that Zuckerberg, speaking of interfaith, he prays with his children, his
two daughters.
He prays with, shout out Aaron as well, two daughters.
Two Asian daughters.
Yeah, he prays with his daughters every night.
Prays, not Preys. He preys on the social data of democratic elections.
Thank God for subtitles. And the chains are inscribed with the Zuckerberg family prayer.
And
so
can I just say, that made it even worse for me. I would rather he have a big bussin' fucking Cuban link, going W word mode than have some
that made it worse.
Have some gold prayer beads wrapped around his throat. And he
is he Jewish?
What's his last name?
I'm joking.
Okay. What type of woman is he married to?
Oh,
yeah, he Jewish. He a nice Jewish boy.
She's Chinese
American. Yeah, he Jewish. But yeah, that was. I was glad that I was able to ask that and that Eva gave a fun answer. Yeah, it was a fun afternoon. It was. I didn't expect to get like that much substance out of it. Because I think like we do, and here's the thing about these summits, right? Is that like you can't just give away the answers. You kind of have to lead a horse to water. You can't make him drink it.
Can't make him post the reels.
So I feel like we're being led to water a bunch. And it's like, oh yeah, okay, glad to know that we're like kind of doing some stuff that is seemingly correct, but also like occupying this weird space between this like meme account, podcast, original content, reels, takes, not really education on like the 10 best vintage stores.
Well, again, descriptive, not prescriptive.
Right.
What was crazy to me, and I think I'm going to go that this is definitely a good thing. The concerns of the room that were brought up during the Q&A were not concerns that I feel like you and I have ever had about what we do and how we market it on Instagram. And that made me feel pretty fucking good.
Yeah. It was very,
I'll say that.
Yeah, that's true. And then the last thing about just spending the morning at IGHQ or FBH or Meta HQ.
Mhm.
We told them, we're like, yo, we got to bounce at 1 o'clock. We got to go pod. But then like, lunch at 1. It's like, well, we got to try the food. So I've been to the Facebook offices like maybe 5 times before.
Damn.
And the snack option, the snack wall is crazy.
I didn't see the snack wall.
It was on a different floor.
Okay.
I saw the tiny office.
Mhm.
Took a pic of Hartman in the tiny office, which looks extra crazy because he's like 6'4".
Oh fuck! I wish I'd hit the tiny. I wanted to fuck.
What you want to picture?
Where's the tiny? Where's the tiny office on 14?
It was where we were. I don't know.
Fuck! I missed.
What you want to picture yourself in the tiny office?
Yeah. 100%.
Fucking good. Oh, the food. What do you think of the food? We had lunch there.
So we go to the cafeteria. So is it free food for all employees? You scan your shit and you get
pretty sure, yeah.
Okay, that's cool. I mean, obviously that's very much a startup thing, and honestly, for a company that has that much bread, that should be the fucking, no pun intended, that should be the bare minimum. There was 3 stations today. I'm assuming they rotate them.
This wasn't the main cafeteria. This was like the food truck station.
Okay, right.
It was like the food truck area.
So there was a halal food truck.
Yep.
There was
Mexican,
and then there was barbecue.
Yeah.
So I went with halal because I decided that it would be great to take a huge diarrhea shit right after. Right before podcasting and right after.
Because you wanted to go say, you want to go say inshallah in the interfaith room.
Yeah, exactly. I wanted to pray to whatever God would save my asshole. I said, give me everything. I went fucking full spread, hit it with a lot of the hot sauce, a lot of the white sauce. I thought it was very fucking good.
Okay.
My halal bowl of halal slop.
Yeah.
Because I got falafel. I think it was a chicken shawarma type deal, and then some baba ganoush on top of rice, lettuce, shreddis, tomatoes, onions. What else was in there? Some chickpeas as well. I was like, this is as good as like the halal delivery I get from like my local spot. I was quite impressed. I'm not a big like ratings guy. That was like a 7.4 out of 10.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah. My bowl of Silicon Valley slop was, I went Mexican. I got the beef birria just because the chicken looked a little, I'm having chicken for dinner. So I was like, I'll just get beef. And the first bowl, it was wildly inconsistent.
Went back for seconds.
I got 2 servings. The first serving, I got like no food.
Okay.
I'm like, this is fucking bullshit. So I go back for a second serving. I'm like, shit's free. And that time a different guy loaded me up.
Hell yeah.
And I could only eat like half of that. It was fine. It tasted like fucking just like fast casual, like dig in, level slop.
Yeah, it's your millennial slop.
It was
bowl.
fucking Chipotle, bro.
Yeah, shit, dude. As a Chipotle apologist, you're speaking my language.
Yeah, but I was like, I can only eat half of the second bowl, otherwise I'll be fucking the slop gonna slump me.
I wonder what the real calf is like, and if there's more like healthier options.
There's a lot more options
because I've never worked at a place that had free lunch like that. I mean, I've worked when I interned on Wall Street, they paid for lunch every day. They switched it up. Like
that was the best. I had Snapchat. I had a credit card I had a $16 credit on like DoorDash every day.
What does that even get you?
Well, this was like 6-7 years ago.
Obama's America.
This got me like a sweet green salad.
16, that sweet green won't go very far today though. Right?
No, you know what? I had a corporate credit card that had like
per diem.
Yeah, but then if you spend, the best was I would like if I worked late like past 8 o'clock, I would order delivery and then just take it home.
Kicks in.
Yeah, because like the night rate kicks in. But
no, I'm just thinking like if I worked at a place like, and again, I'm sure there's a real cafeteria with like much healthier options, but like just the food cart situation, like I can't.
No, dude. There's like I've gotten like fish salads. Like they've like regular just like startup fucking Silicon Valley ass cafeteria.
Because like diarrhea aside, like if that's a lunch that I'm gonna eat at the crib, like that's straight to nap time, not to fucking potting for 2 hours.
You can't have diarrhea in the half woman bathroom, whatever you call the transgender bathrooms.
Bro, it's. I'm telling you, no, you're not giving them enough credit for their progressive restrooms.
But it says men and women, men on here, women here.
But then what is that symbol?
And then they have an all gender bathroom over there.
Does that symbol mean she, they, and
I don't know.
they?
I don't know. I didn't see the symbol. I didn't look at the women's room. Why are you looking at the women's room? Fuck.
I was looking for the men's room and I found the women's room first.
Did the men's room have a half?
Yeah.
half male, half female symbology.
Yeah, what was the other half? No, actually, you know what? The male, that was just a human. That was just a guy.
Women aren't human?
No, I don't know. Dude, I didn't. You're right. The signage for the women's room was a half skirt, half non-skirt. And then the signage for the men's room was just that fucking guy who's posted.
Yeah. The girl skateboard logo.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into the last segment. This is, I don't know how to... Kith, brand of the year?
Okay, just you've been throwing this around, and this is because of Tyson.
This is, you know what? I saw Ronald post the, Mike Tyson, the photo of Mike Tyson making two pigeons kiss, and the meme now Kith. And I guess they got the licensing to that photo, and they put it on a t-shirt, and Ronnie tweeted it, and he said, now Kith. And I'm like, you know what? This to me shows a level of like sense of humor, ability to laugh at oneself, ability to like understand, not the relevant zeitgeist, but it's like you're having fun, right? Which are all qualities that I think are strengths in a brand, especially one that is like at the top of like mainstream visibility.
If you're Eva Chen,
but sure. But yeah, I mean, she did shout them out, but like, let's just run through their fucking accolades, bro.
Well, right. That's the thing, right? We're saying Kith brand of the year. First of all, are they going on Fiddy's as brand of the year?
I think they should. Let's talk about it. Not the Mike Tyson thing aside.
Well, that's
just a little stunt.
But 3 is a trend.
Giorgio Armani, collaboration. Orally, whatever that was, whatever you call it. Orally for Kith 101 or whatever.
Yeah, Kith 101 for Orally or whatever.
I literally just got a fucking email from PR Consulting about Kith Night. Where
at the Knicks game. Yeah.
At the Knicks game.
Yeah.
Where, yes, Ronnie has been creative director of the Knicks for a minute, but it's like getting buy-in, contractual obligation buy-in from Jalen Brunson, from Cat, from Josh Hart, from OG, from like the whole fucking squadron.
Bridges,
Deuce.
Tibbs?
Maybe not Tibbs.
Yeah, does Tibbs have to wear Kith on Kith Night?
That'd be sick.
I bet you he does, dude. He's in the arm. He'll be in the Giorgio Armani turtleneck, dude. Looking like a fat Pat Riley, dude.
I don't see Tibbs in the...
He's not in the marketing, but I'm just saying on Kith Night, I wonder if he's contractually obligated to attempt to get a fit off in like whatever. I don't even know what he would be wearing.
Let's see. Pre-game.
Wait, when is Kith Night?
It was 3 days ago.
It already happened.
Okay, he's wearing Nike in the pregame.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, they don't change they're not wearing Marvel Asics on court.
But okay. Your feelings on Kith aside, do you not have to kind of like give them a little bit of recognition for taking some big swings and having a year full of moments?
Okay. We have never talked about Kith. Going back to the previous podcast endeavor that shall not be named, this is the most that in any year that Kith has ever been like a staple of our show's commentary on the zeitgeist, which is already saying a lot, if not too much. My issue is that the reason it's coming up today as this brand of the year question mark is because of this 3 as it is a trend, and the third thing being the Tyson thing. Supreme did this already.
Kith?
No, they did the Mike Tyson photo tee,
but they didn't take the piss and like with the now Kith. Like
it
says now Kith.
They didn't take the pith out of it?
Yeah. And here's another one. The 3-way collab with this was last year, but I think they did another release this year. The Kith Clark's Samba 3-way collaboration. People really like that.
Oh, yeah, with Ronnie's high-end line. Those are terrible. Okay, here's my problem with...
Let me just pause it there.
Sure.
Any other brand, forget whatever. If any other brand did a Giorgio Armani collaboration and got the GOAT to appear in the marketing materials and got Scorsese and I don't know who else, Pierce Brosnan, right? And Kith and I guess Ronnie himself in the marketing. If any other brand,
Ronnie being in the marketing is so fucking awesome, dude. That's the fourth archetype. It's the traveler, the artist, the actor, and the genius,
and the OG, the top G. If that same brand then collaborate with Orally, because if that same brand had a popping retail presence in Japan, if that same brand did a full night dedicated to itself with the New York motherfucking Knickerbockers at the world's greatest arena.
Yeah. The world's most famous
arena, sorry. In the greatest city in the world. Would you not be like, yo, this brand is like making moves not in silence?
Sure. Unfortunately, again, it comes down to the end product, and there was not of everything you mentioned, there is not a even quasi coppable John.
You want to wear the Kith Orly Shiesty?
No. My issue with the Tyson thing is that
this leather isn't bad. You just want to wear it because
come on, dog.
Because I think it has some like Kith marking on it, or like this isn't bad.
Wait, you're telling me that you're gonna wear?
I'm not saying I'm gonna wear it. I'm saying this isn't bad. I wear shit that say New York on it because I'm actually from here. I'm not from. That's not bad.
I'm from New York.
Would you wear this if it said New Jersey on it?
No.
Fucking B&T ass motherfucker.
We also didn't even mention the whole NFL fucking collab they just did.
Well, who hasn't collabed with the NFL at this point?
And it's funny because one collab that just got dropped in the midst, I don't think it'll be collab of the year, was the big NCAA Supreme like licensing thing where they went with what? Tar Heels, Hurricanes, Hoyas, and who else did they do? But like the major schools. I'm looking at that and like it just, bro, it comes down to taste. It comes down to execution. It comes down to intentionality.
You can't say it comes down to taste. Taste is the most subjective thing in the world.
You're right. So my issue going to the Tyson thing is that while clever and taking the pith and a little winking and nodding, you and I both know that is not even remotely a true tenet of what Kith is as a brand, who Ronnie is as a guy. So when I see something like that, all I can think about is Supreme did it first and they did it honestly. And for me, this is, of course, it's supposed to be a meme, John. You got to give credit where credit is due.
Supreme did the box logo tee. They didn't do.
There is a Mike Tyson photo tee, and you can. That's what this is. These are both photo tee, and I'm not saying
no, because the Now Kith is. Come on, the Now Kith is not a photo tee.
So yeah. Well, it is. It's a picture of Mike Tyson on. That's just the tee. It's a photo tee.
But it says Now Kith on it.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't?
No,
that was sold out, by the way.
Now Kith is just the way that they like, it's kind of like that's the almost like inspo and like goofy meme to promote it. The shirt itself is just a picture of Tyson with the pigeons.
And it says Kith underneath.
Because it's the name of the brand. Kith. Anyway, so my thing is that I know.
I don't think you can say Supreme did it first.
Okay, how about this? Supreme did it honestly. This to me is
Supreme
not,
did a Mike Tyson t-shirt.
There is not an ounce of humor or self-awareness in what, and by the way, I'm not calling out Kith. So many menswear and streetwear brands don't have a sense of humor, don't have a sense of self-awareness. And
which is why this little winky moment, I was like, you know what? Let's run the tape back and look at the facts.
Okay. How about this? This is an exception to the rule that is normally how Kith operates. And I appreciate people stepping outside their comfort zone and taking risks, much like.
Oh yeah, I don't feel good talking about it like this. By the way,
and you know what? Kith is going to go. We can put him on the brand of the year Fitties list, and the people will vote them into last place, as we know they will do. With that said, a broken clock is right twice a day, and this is not a bad moment.
Yeah, but is a broken clock right 4 times a day?
This is only the third. We're at 3. Well, you're counting the Knicks. You think the Knicks collab is good?
I think having the fucking ability to collaborate with the New York Knicks, Armani, Orly, and you know what? I'm not counting Mike Tyson.
Okay,
that was just a moment. I was like, let me fucking. How about just being the best, being one of the most powerful retailers in the world?
Yeah. Facts. I mean, that's not a lie. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, everything you just said, you're right. Is it speaks for itself. You know what?
I'm bringing it up. I'm bringing this up at the 2nd annual Instagram Menswear Forum 2025 TM. ID on the pants, my lord.
It speaks for itself, but I don't necessarily like what I'm hearing. How about that?
Yeah. All right. This has been another episode of the only podcast that matters. Yo, see you guys in LA.
Yeah. Can't wait. Pull up on us. Sunset Boulevard, baby.
41-1.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.